one of the very first things we're taught when we're taking piano lessons is how to sit at the piano. And how we sit is so important because it's going to affect the tone that you play with, the dexterity and flexibility your fingers will have, and it's going to help you play faster and get the right sounds. So the very first thing that we always do with students is we adjust our chair, and we want to make sure that your knees are not way under the keys. Because if you're way under the keys, you're not going to have much room for your hands to move around. So your knees should be on the edge of the piano, or even just an inch under, but no more. You want to watch that you have a very straight back, because all of the energy is going to come up through into your arms, into the keys, and you don't want to be sitting slouched. When we have our fingers on the piano, we also want to make sure that our shoulders are relaxed. A lot of times students will end up lifting their shoulders up towards their ears, but you want this area really relaxed. You can just rotate your shoulders a little bit and get that relaxed feeling. Your elbows should not be hanging down by your side. We want your arm to be able to support your fingers. We don't want the weight of this arm pulling on your hand. So if your arm is in the right place, you should see your wrist and your elbow being a little bit more level. With my youngers, I like to pretend that we have like birdie wings, and we'll lift our arm and get more like a flying look from the wing. And when you're placing your fingers on the keys, we want to have some room inside of your hand. We don't want to have the palm close to the keys, touching it. You need to have your fingers supportive. And so with my littles as well, I make little cages in here. Sometimes there's spider cages. And as you're playing the piano, you don't want to be lifting your fingers in the air. With the little guys, we pretend those spiders run out underneath their fingers here. But you want to keep the bars of the cage in contact with the keys. After you play a finger and go to the next, that finger relaxes, the weight transfers into the next finger. And our fingers should also have a more rounded look, like so. What I sometimes do is grab a pencil with students and get them to hold onto that pencil. And where they're holding it, your fingertips are touching the pencil. We don't want to grab it in a way where the pad of your finger is touching. You want to hold it like this and transfer that look onto the keys, because a rounded finger is a really supportive finger, because in piano we have soft tones, but we also play with a lot of energy and a lot of force, so you want it well supported. It's just like if you were jumping off stairs or jumping off something. When you landed, our knees usually bend, and we don't want to see them bending the wrong way. That can be damaging to your finger. So you want to have a rounded knuckle. We have 3 knuckles. They should all be nice and round. As for the thumb, you want your thumb playing more on its top. We don't want him to act like a hammer and lay him down as we're playing. Just where the thumb is, if you push your thumb down like that, you've got a wrist that's sinking again. But if your thumb is in the right spot, it'll help draw your wrist up into a more supportive position. And your pinky as well is going to play right on his top. A lot of students, when they're first starting out, they end up leaning their pinky sideways or playing it flat on the palm of their finger when we want it right on the tip. So in order to play correctly, you're going to end up having to make sure that your fingernails are trimmed back and that you don't have any nail on the bed of the piano, or you're going to be slipping on those keys if you're playing right on the tip. So just to revamp, you want a nice straight back, you want your knees on the edge of the piano, your shoulders are going to be relaxed, and you want your arm to support your fingers. The fingers are all round and touching the keys, even when you're not using them. As we start to learn scales, they still are going to stay in touch with the keys. You might see a beginner dipped, fingers sticking up, but we just continually work on that good hand position, because this provides a good foundation for their future playing and what demands they're going to be as they get higher up in the grade levels. Another thing that you can do with your hand to help get that relaxed position is to just turn it upside down. And if it's relaxed, you'll see how the fingers naturally bend like that. That's a very relaxed hand. And you can take that and turn it over, right? If you're not relaxed, your fingers are going to be stiff or sticking out in different positions. You just want it completely relaxed. Turn it over, make sure you've got this level. Your arm is supportive of your fingers, and there you have it. You've got some good hand position. It takes a while to feel comfortable with that, but having a good hand position and good posture is an awesome foundation to becoming a great pianist.